You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. Kevin.
I'm 6'5", 250, and trained, so bring that shit on, bitches.
I was listening to Truth on Tap with Kevin and Kierstead last night. I've never really called into Kevin's show or gotten into any banter to him because, to be honest with you, he's way too intellectual for me. I mean, I'm no dummy, but this guy, I don't think I can hang with him verbally and just, discussing the issues. He's a really smart guy.
That's Wes Johnson. Find him at wesjohnson.com. The greatest on-air personality to ever bless the United States of America.
He does a really good show. It's very professionally done. He's on iHeartRadio.
I can sniff out bullies from a mile away, and I love to go after them. I am not alpha male until an alpha male shows up and tries to start bossing me around. That's when the alpha male comes out in me. I'm an alfalfa male. Once an alpha male gets in my face, I'm an alfalfa male. The cowlick pops up on the back of the head.
Every once in a while, you have to go to war.
The pants rise to become high waters. I got my dukes up.
I'm gonna, what do you call it, mute my mic so I don't deafen you, or defecate on you. And, oh shit, he made a poop noise. And then we're gonna...
And I'm ready to rock and roll. Give him a little Jack Johnson, Yeah.
Truth on Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.
This is Don Imus. You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead. You're gonna like it, or I'll kick your ass. We do be trying this dumb shit again. 4-4-15-204 amputee murder. I'm sorry, 20. Did I say 204 or 4? It doesn't fucking matter. Does it really matter? Okay, it's 5/11/13 to the 15th minus 9 on April 11th. I don't care. I don't care what the date is. You don't care what the time is. It's time to call out the fucktarded, full fucktardian, fucktard refugees is what I'm thinking. Let's see if this shit is popping. Oh my god, it's working. It's fucking working. Unbelievable. I tried to do this same show earlier. Oh, we're going to light some people's asses up today, my friends. Yeah, we are. Tried to do the show earlier and it got the Andrew Gold Medal, my friend from Australia in the chat room, Zodiac 12, my favorite Australian. And I only know one other Australian, so it's not like he has major competition, but he's earned it. He's omnipresent, if I may, and I may. We're going to talk about, look, I'm going to hit you guys with such a fucking wheelbarrow full of Jon Stewart today that if you don't like him, you're going to throw up, so you might as well leave now. Let me set it up. Let me set this motherfucker up right now. Jon Stewart is a very sensible person to me who thinks rationally, regularly. Now, I don't know if his writers do it for him. I know he has a team of 16,000 writers. But I do know that what he says makes sense. Once he gets into the comedy, that's up to you. It's like, do you like the homemade macaroni and cheese, or would you rather have raw shit from a cat that's been laid in a fish aquarium after the fish have puked? You pick your thing. What do I like? But what makes sense? That's less subject to taste and more subject to the very bright and burning spotlight of critical thinking. Jon Stewart passes the test. And I've seen the videos where they try to tear his ass apart and they don't really do too well. They don't. It's like, oh, really? They got it. They tried to get him on that? That was weak. Remember when he did that big debate with Bill O'Reilly? And they were both kind of jerking each other. I think it was kind of a ploy for, for the audience that it would gather. And that scares me a little because now we got Floyd Mayweather Jr. coming and Manny Pacquiao. Is this a setup? Are we watching two old men? I mean, is this going to be like, what was that movie, Angry Old Men or Old Men or some shit, where they just fucking go stand by a fence and yell at each other? Fucking get your shit off my lawn. And, you old fucker, you turn your music down. And then they leave and they're like, okay, it's a draw? Is that what they're doing? Because they're pulling in, what, a couple of $100 million off this fight? Get the fuck out of here. You get in a fight in East LA, you don't even get $5, depending on what the guy has in his wallet when you're done. Yeah, let me stop this. I've got a little treat for you now. As I said, we're going to be focusing on these motherfuckers. Now, this is mainly focused on America, Andrew, but I'm sure it applies there. Who do you know over in Australia who looks at the Australian Constitution and says, oh, I truly believe in all of this? But then you see them behave in a way that shows they really only support the people that look and think exactly like them. Very narrow-minded view, especially in any country that draws strength from its very diversity. America is stronger for its diversity. America is stronger than it would be if it were all white or if it were all black. Because we've been forced to tackle social issues that many other countries have not. It hasn't risen up. They haven't been presented with the problem yet. How are we going to deal with these motherfuckers over here dancing the robot out of rhythm if we're black? I don't know how you deal with that, black people. I say shoot them. Just shoot the white people. Now, white people, you're going, how are we going to deal with these people over here wearing their pants around their ankles? I guess just shoot them. I don't know. I think we've made a lot of progress in this country, except for law enforcement. Socially, our thinking continues to develop and evolve, and you get these little sects, S-E-C-T-S, that go in different directions and they fall off. But the overwhelming majority that fits under the big titty hump of the bell curve, we're coming along. We're developing. We're getting this tolerance, and tolerance is a product of education. Because education produces understanding. And this is why the most narrow-minded people you find, you can almost assume right away, assuming psychological health and a public school education, that they did not gain an education. Nothing past high school level and probably got D's there. Because they have not bothered to learn about people different from them. They have not learned to value ideas and opinions that differ from theirs. They tell you they love the Constitution. It's First Amendment Friday. It's Second Amendment Saturday. It's Ninth Amendment Sunday. But then you listen to them and you learn that if you're not white and on the right politically and a multiple gun owner, or you live, God help you if you live in the inner city, if you're not in those categories, if you're not rural, white, Christian, usually old, and a multiple gun owner, fuck you. You're out. The Constitution's not for you. It's for our kind. Well, to those people, I'm going to give them a deep and thorough ass beating during this show. But let me say up front, with the proper tone, fuck you. Because that's not the America I believe in and love. I like the one they talk about in the Constitution. And that one allows for diversity. Yeah, we're going to prove it. I got all kinds of good shit coming at you. But I got a little special story for you. It's a little 2-minute story. It's about the making of the U.S. Constitution. Get a load of this real quick.
It is the spring of 1787. The Revolutionary War has been over for only 6 years, and the young United States is still struggling in its infancy. Uprisings, boundary disputes, and the lack of a common vision all plague the newborn country. In an effort to steady this precarious ship, the Confederation Congress calls on states to send delegates to the Grand Convention, to begin on May 14th in Philadelphia. The delegates must draft revisions to the Articles of Confederation, which would then be considered by the Congress and approved by the states. Under the terms of the Articles, all 13 states had to agree to any changes. Since the purpose of the convention is just to make recommendations, not everyone is excited about attending. And frankly, some think it's a waste of time. As men from different parts of the country begin to travel down dusty, rutted roads on the way to Philadelphia, not all states send delegates. In fact, Rhode Island never even shows up. On May 14th, only 8 delegates, not states, but individual delegates, are present. So they wait. Finally, on May 25th, the necessary quorum of 7 states is achieved. In all, 55 delegates arrive in Philadelphia over the course of the convention. They are all white males, property owners, and the average age is about 44.
And I'll repeat that for you. White males, property owners, average age 44, which back then was the equivalent today of 970. Old fuckers. All right, let's keep it going.
Slaveholders, some had signed the Declaration of Independence, and almost all are well educated. Picture the delegates, James Madison and George Washington among them, sitting in Independence Hall in hot, humid Philadelphia. They're all wearing the dress of the day, frock coats, high collars, and thick pants. They vote to keep their discussions secret to encourage honest debate. But that means the windows are closed, and there is no air conditioning in 1787, not even an electric fan. And they'll sit in that sweltering heat in those heavy clothes for 3 months. Shockingly, they all keep their vow of secrecy. That could never happen today, not even for an hour-long meeting. Someone would share, James Madison thinks he's so smart, keyword, articles are dead, via social media, and the whole thing would be a disaster. But in 1787, there are no leaks, not even a drip that hints at what they are doing. And what they are doing is nothing short of overthrowing the very government that sent them there. Within a few days, with only a 7-state quorum, and only 6 of those states agreeing, a handful of men changed the course of history. They vote to get rid of the Articles of Confederation and write a new, more nationalistic document that becomes our Constitution. The risk is immense. Everyone on the outside assumes they were working on recommended revisions to the Articles. It's an incredible gamble, and even when the convention presents the signed Constitution on September 17th, not all delegates endorse it. The country will argue and debate for 2 more years before the document is adopted by the required 9 out of 13 states. But instead of punishing them for their deception, today we celebrate the wisdom and vision of those men in Philadelphia.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? The rest of the country has this idea that, they're just going to brush up on this document, make recommendations, no biggie. You go in with the Federalist Papers, and you come out with the U.S. Constitution. And what's the moral there? Early bird gets the worm? Keep a secret and you could keep a conspiracy? I don't know. It's sort of weird. But I am going to say that the men that were there are people that I almost fully respect. That whole slave ownership thing, and you also have to understand the 3/5 of a person that they made black people was more for political. The reason that they did that is because they didn't want people who had a lot of slaves to get unfair numbers of congressional representatives for their state. It had nothing to do with the value of a black person's input, because black people weren't allowed to vote anyway. So it wasn't like that. They weren't saying you're 3/5 of a human. They were saying that blacks, which were considered property at the time, could only count as 3/5 of a person for congressional representation. And you could see why they would do that. That actually seems fair to me in the context of the day. When you're talking about how do we build Congress, we have to exclude non-voters. But they didn't. They included non-voters, just at 3/5 of the level, or 60%, depending on your math. But that's not what we're talking about today. That was just a fun little side story. How about this, I love the Constitution, I love the Constitution, God damn those Muslims. Did you know that on U.S. soil, only 6% of terrorist acts have been done by Muslims? The Jews have done more. They've done 7%.